Ovince Saint Preux. Ovince, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
We'll take our first question from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cageside Press. Your line is open.
Hey, OSP, how are you?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. I want to start. I was on your Instagram and I saw that Kevin Holland wants the secrets to the Von Preux choke. I mean, are you going to be meeting up with him sometime if he's healthy?
Definitely. We got the same manager, so we definitely been around each other. So I mean, I haven't got a chance to respond back to him, but I'll definitely end up showing him how I finish it.
This, I believe your third fight of the year. We've heard about different closures happening once again around the country. I'm just wondering, has your training situation been affected or changed with everything going on in recent weeks?
No, not necessarily. It's just like the fight that I had back in September or whatnot. I couldn't worry about that. And my primary focus is to train, and that's what I've been doing. And if I start worrying about other little stuff that's happening around me, I won't focus on training. I mean, it's something I can't control, so that's why I don't worry about it.
Understood. There's a lot going on at light heavyweight lately. I wanted your thoughts. How do you think things play out potentially with Adesanya and Jan Blachowicz?
Man, to be honest, I didn't even know about that fight until this week. I just actually until like yesterday. So, you know what? I don't know. I really don't know. I could say I'm interested in it, but not necessarily. All I got to do is just like take my one fight at a time, and whenever my opportunity comes, which will be sometime in 2021, I won't be worried about it. That's when I start worried about it. But until then, it's just like I don't really think about it. Just because within 205 division, a lot of things are going to shake up, and a lot of things usually end up shaking up, and it's going to continue to happen too.
My final question to talk about what you have going on. Can you just give me your thoughts on Jamahal Hill as an opponent and what he brings to the table?
I mean, he's a young, hungry fighter. You usually have fighters that come in, they're young, they're hungry. You win your first couple bouts or whatnot, you feel really good, you feel unstoppable. But he always got to remember, I've been in this game for a while too. So I mean, he do have a lot of threats, but I think overall, I have more threats than he does.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take our next question from Jordan Ellis with Low Kick MMA. Your line is open.
Hi, Ovince.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. So this is kind of the second up and comer you're facing on the bounce now, and you're a guy who we've known for being, at the top of the division for so long. So what do you make of these matchups the UFC are giving you right now?
Man, I'm not complaining about it. I mean, at the end of the day, is a situation where, if I have a chance to put on a good show and potentially have a really good bonus out of that, I'm not going to complain about it. This is a fight game, and if you tell me to fight somebody and to fight a favorable fight from towards my end, I'm definitely going to end up taking it.
But moving into 2021, is the ambition to still climb up them rankings and potentially pursue another shot at the title?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's been everything since day one. Even with my roller coaster, record, even my roller coaster career or whatnot. That's been everything since day one. So 2020 is kind of me getting my feet back in the water. 2021 is me actually busting open the door.
And just finally, you moved up to heavyweight, fought Ben Rothwell. It didn't quite go your way. Was that a one-off? Are you done with heavyweight, or do you see yourself going back there at some point?
It depends. If the opportunity presented itself, I'll do it again because it was fun not to cut weight, but it was a little different because some of the shots I put him down with, like most light heavyweight would have stayed on the ground. You can see that from my last fight. But like I said, it was a good learning experience, and would I do it again? Definitely.
Okay, thanks for your time. Good luck with Fight Night.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Damon Martin with MMAfighting.com. Your line is open.
Hey, Ovince, kind of following up on earlier, facing the up-and-comers. 2 fights ago, you fought a guy who was undefeated coming into the UFC, had picked up a lot of wins in a row, and you obviously submitted him. Then your last fight, Field had a bit of hype behind him. Out is it kind of fun, facing the young guys and kind of being that first blemish on their record, so to speak? Because obviously here you got Jamahal Hill, he's undefeated, but you are kind of a big step up in competition for him.
I mean, definitely. I don't know. It's just like for some reason, at times I think out of the 205 division for up and coming guy, I think I'll be one of the worst guys to actually go in with. But it is what it is. Some guys feel like they have it, and some guys want to jump into the top. But it's different, man. This game is different because you got guys that've been around for a while, like myself, and you got the experience level behind it. And there's not only that, just experience being in the cage with like top level guys and whatnot. And these guys are coming up. Yes, I mean anything can happen within a fight, but the circumstances between that fight, with what I got going on, with what I've been through fighting wise and whatnot, is going to make it a lot more difficult for him. And I mean, every time you look at the outcome towards the fight or whatnot, it's leaning towards my way very, very much so. And what's crazy about it too is like even the odds right now got me actually the underdogs. And it's funny because I think the Vegas odds when the Vegas when they doing their odds or whatnot, they're looking at a guy with an undefeated record. Yeah, I mean, it necessarily don't mean anything. I've been wild for a while. It's the same thing. My last fight, I was underdog. Apparently, this fight, I'm the underdog too. So it works in my favor.
Although that knowing the work you put in and the guys you fought and beaten, and you kind of faced the who's who of this division for a lot of years, and you have with so many of them. Is it frustrating that maybe you're not getting the respect you deserve, going into some of these fights?
No, they just don't know any better. I mean, a lot of times when people look at people kind of relate it to boxing. It'll be like this person's gonna lose because this person an undefeated boxer or whatnot. The mixed martial arts is completely different. If you stay in this game long enough, you're not gonna be undefeated. It's point blank. It's really hard to be undefeated because that day is gonna come when you catch an L. But even in this 205 division right now, if your talent level, if you just coming in and you want to jump right on top and start fighting the top guys in the division, it's not going to take long for you to get that first L.
Is there some excitement though about the growth of the light heavyweight division? A lot of years, it was basically 6 or 7 at the top. Yourself, Glover, Ryan Bader when he was around. John Jones obviously at the top. And then you had like a lot of guys who were just kind of behind you who could never really get into that top 6 or 7. Now we are seeing a lot more young, up and coming, light heavyweights. The division is kind of filling out. Is there some kind of fun to that, knowing light heavyweight is actually growing and getting bigger? Because again, for the longest time, it felt like we had like 6 or 7 top guys, and then just a lot of kind of no names.
What reason you had 6 or 7 top guys? Because they knew how to correct that margin of error. What I mean by that is, I tell people a lot of times, when I was first coming up, I think my first 5 fights in the UFC, I was like 5-0. And, when that happened, it's cool. But when you start hitting the top 15 or whatnot, you'd be like, okay, that was a little work for me right now. The top 10, you start hitting that top 10, you'd be like, okay, these fights are going my way, but they're more of a decision type of win. Or, I got to put a little more effort towards this win. But when you get in the top 5, to be honest, man, that margin of error is small because every time that window of error is small. And if that's capitalize on that, I mean, the best example use on that is if you watch Glover. That's what Glover does all the time. When he fought Anthony Smith, and hurt, and when he just kind of waited his turn and ended up beating Anthony Smith. Same thing with his last fight when he fought Thiago Santos. Same thing. He's been there. He knows how to do that. He's just like, okay, cool, I'm not in trouble. And that's what that's where experience come from. It's just like when you're in that top 5, it's hard. But some guys are in that top 5, and it's hard to stay in that top 5 too, because when you actually fighting these top fighters or whatnot, a lot of these young guys want to hurry up and come up. My advice would be like, you can do that, but just remember, if you fight somebody in the top 5, after you do that, there is going to be no more easy fights for you. Everybody that you're going to fight is going to be within the top 5 to top 10. And that means every single time you're going to have to be scratching and crawling for everything. So these people don't understand. Like, I like where I'm at, but when 2021 come around, I'm hitting the doors full running because I've been there before and I know what to expect. So I'm good.
And last one, everything goes well. Saturday and you beat Jamahal Hill. When you look at the division, you mentioned a guy like Anthony Smith, who was on a couple tough losses, got a big win this past weekend. Is kind of the idea, not Anthony Smith necessarily, but is that kind of the idea after this? Like, obviously, you're going to fight who the UFC puts in front of you, but would you like to see more established names? Not necessarily you have to fight the number one guy right away, but is there a part of you that feels like you want to fight more established guys after this one, after you kind of have, three prospects in a row, kind of, in your last three light heavyweight fights?
Man, yeah, but at the end of the day, like I said, for me, I'm an entertainer. I'm gonna get up there regardless, regardless whether it's you feeding me these newbies or you putting me out there with some of the top contenders. And to be honest, some of the top contenders too is just like it just depends. A lot of guys play smart or whatnot. You get some guys in the top 5, you get some guys in the top 10 who have a fight percentage to them, and they'll be like, okay, I don't want to take that fight. It's a risky fight. So, you can do that all day once you establish yourself within the rankings or whatnot. But, for me, once I get there and just be like, okay, cool. Everybody in the top 10 right now, everybody in the top 15. Cool. Let's go.
Thank you, Ovince.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Omar Mert with S Sport. Your line is open.
Owens.
Well,
My question is a possible win against Jamahal Hill, an undefeated guy. How may it affect your chance on contendership, like on your spot on the rankings?
that's something I'm not thinking about right now. All I'm thinking about is pretty much getting my hand raised at the end. Um, the thing about the UFC, even with the rankings, the UFC don't really care about the rankings. They like guys putting on shows. So if I go out there and put on a show, that's all that matters. And I think that's one of the reasons I've been one of the, I guess, deactive light heavyweight. So, as long as I put on the show, I'm pretty good. I'm not worried about the rankings right now.
What do you think? Like, how without John Jones on the picture, how many wins it takes to the title shot for you? How many straight wins?
To be honest, I don't know. I'm thinking either, 3, 4, or 5 wins. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's just me doing one fight at a time. And I don't like thinking like multiple fights ahead of time. I mean, I'm not focusing on the task at hand. So as long as I have this one fight in front of me and I keep on going that way, I'll be fine.
So last question, like you are 37, and how long do you want to keep it going?
To be honest, I don't know, man. My last fight, I felt amazing. And this fight, I'm feeling Danny the same way. It depends. Like I'm taking care of my body pretty good. So as long as I can keep going, I'm gonna be one of the guys that, I'm not gonna quit the game unless I know I need to. Like even when I played football, people were telling me, why'd you quit playing football? And I was like, I never quit playing football. Football quit on me. With mixed martial arts, it'd be like, I love this game. I'm not gonna quit on mixed martial arts until mixed martial arts quit on me. But I'll know when my time comes too.
Thank you, Owens.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Gabriel Gonzalez with Cage Side Press. Your line is open. Gabriel, your line is open.
Okay.
We'll go instead to Cote Cruz with Ford Win Podcast. Your line is open.
Hey, Owens, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
You're reviving with that song, man.
Yeah.
Well, it happens. With this fight, you will match Shogun and Jones for the most light heavyweight fights in history. What do you think about reaching this milestone? How does that make you feel as a fighter?
You said I'll do what now?
I'm sorry, I'll repeat. I said that with this fight, you will match Shogun and Jones for the most light heavyweight fights in history.
Oh, okay.
So, what do you think about reaching this milestone?
Man, to be quite honest, I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that. It's crazy because apparently I got a lot of I guess I got a lot of things going within the 205 division. The most finishes, um, the most close. I don't know. There's a lot of records that I'm up there for in the 205 division that I never realized or whatnot. And I guess that's another one. Um, I don't know. To be honest, yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't think about it. Like people have to tell me, and they're like, "Oh, okay. Do you know you're tied for this much or whatnot, or this much finishes in the 205 division?" I think Glover and I was tied after his last fight. He has me by one now. Um, I never really paid attention to that until like people actually throw it in my face, and this is another thing that you actually threw in my face. I didn't know. I mean, I guess I'll just keep on going. I feel good. I can keep on going.
How would you describe the moment that your career is currently in? What do you feel about the future, and what are those motivations that will take you there?
Um, man, right now, my current situation, am I happy about it? Yes, I'm happy about it. Reason being is because of the way I feel right now, and I think that's the biggest thing. And as long as I can keep telling myself to feel this way, I'm going to be perfectly fine. You know, but other than that, the only thing I can do is take everything one fight at a time.
I would love to ask you about your country, Haiti. How do you feel about representing Haiti, and what kind of advice would you give to your nation to push MMA?
Um, how do I feel about it? First generation Haitian American, and you know, both my parents were born in Haiti and stuff. And a lot of times, you know, it's one of them things where I come out and I have the Haitian flag with me all the time, and people don't realize that. It's like, you know, a lot of the reason I do it because of my heritage and whatnot. It means a lot, and it can go back as to, you know, there's a slogan that, you know, a lot of the first generation Haitian kids have is 1804, which means like when Haiti got their independence from France, and it means a lot because Haiti was the first black republic to break away from slavery. So, you know, with that, you have to have a strong lineage or whatnot, and you know that's what I always kind of remind myself where I come from. So, but as of, you know, mixed martial arts in Haiti or whatnot, you have a lot of guys right now, Haitian fighters are coming up. It just take time. It literally take time. So, but a lot of it's crazy. A lot of them are coming up within the mixed martial arts one. But if you look at, you know, other sports like football, track, and basketball, especially football, we are pretty much all over the place in football right now. But yeah, me being Haitian means a lot. It's just, yeah, it means a lot.
That's beautifully put, man. Thank you for your time. Best of luck on your fight.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ovince. You're all set.
Appreciate it.